Fresh from conquering Gaul, Julius Caesar stood as the most powerful general in Rome. But with his victories came fear. Many in the Senate, led by his rival Pompey the Great, saw him not as a hero, but as a dangerous threat. The Senate ordered Caesar to disband his legions and return to Rome as a private citizen. But Caesar knew that if he returned without his army, he could face prosecution, humiliation, or even death. To obey meant ruin. To resist meant civil war. In the winter of 49 BCE, Caesar made his choice, and Rome would never be the same again. On the banks of the Rubicon River, Caesar paused with his 13th Legion. To cross with his army would be an act of open rebellion against the Republic. To hesitate would mean surrender. At last, Caesar is said to have declared, "The die is cast." As his troops marched across the river, history changed forever. For the first time, a Roman general had brought his army against Rome itself. Panic spread through the city, and senators fled in fear as Caesar advanced southward. Pompey the Great, once Caesar's ally in the First Triumvirate, now commanded the forces of the Senate. Rather than fight Caesar immediately in Italy, Pompey withdrew to Greece, where he could gather more troops and use Rome's powerful fleets. Caesar, moving quickly, secured Rome and the state treasury. Unlike previous civil wars, Caesar sought to present himself not as a tyrant, but as a restorer of order. He even showed mercy to captured enemies, earning a reputation for clemency. With Pompey regrouping in the east, Caesar marched westward to deal with Pompey's forces stationed in Spain. Before setting out, he remarked, "I am going to Spain to fight an army without a general, and later to fight a general without an army." In a lightning campaign, Caesar defeated his opponents and secured Spain. With resources and legitimacy now firmly in his hands, he prepared to face Pompey himself. In 48 BCE, Caesar and Pompey finally clashed in Greece at the Battle of Pharsalus. Pompey commanded nearly twice as many men, and his cavalry outnumbered Caesar's several times over. Confident in his strength, Pompey expected an easy victory. But Caesar was cunning. He placed a hidden reserve of infantry behind his cavalry. When Pompey's horsemen charged, Caesar's reserve suddenly struck, throwing them into chaos. With Pompey's cavalry routed, Caesar's legions pressed forward, breaking the enemy lines. Pompey's army collapsed, and Caesar had won one of the most decisive battles in history. Pompey himself fled the battlefield, his power broken. Seeking refuge, Pompey sailed to Egypt, hoping that young Pharaoh Ptolemy XIII would welcome him. Instead, the Egyptians, fearing Caesar's wrath, betrayed him. As Pompey stepped ashore, he was treacherously murdered. When Caesar arrived soon after and was presented with Pompey's severed head, he reportedly wept. Despite being his rival, Pompey had once been Caesar's ally and even his son-in-law. His brutal end was a grim reminder of the cost of civil war. In Egypt, Caesar became entangled in the kingdom's dynastic struggle. Ptolemy XIII faced off against his sister, Cleopatra. Caesar chose to support Cleopatra both politically and personally. With Caesar's backing, Cleopatra reclaimed her throne, and the two began a famous relationship that would later produce a son, Caesarion. Caesar spent months in Alexandria, helping Cleopatra secure power and ensuring that Egypt would remain a loyal ally of Rome. After Egypt, Caesar turned east to confront remaining Pompeian supporters in Asia Minor. In a swift campaign at Zala, he crushed the enemy. He announced his victory with just 3 words, Veni, Vidi, Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. His message was clear, resistance was futile. Caesar was unstoppable. But resistance did not die easily. In North Africa, Pompey's allies regrouped. Caesar defeated them in yet another campaign. Finally, in 45 BCE, Caesar faced Pompey's sons at the Battle of Munda in Spain. Unlike Pharsalus, this battle was bitter and bloody. Caesar himself later admitted that it was the only time he had truly feared for his life. But once again, his forces prevailed. With victory at Munda, the civil war was over. Caesar stood as the undisputed master of Rome. The civil war had lasted just 4 years, but it transformed Rome forever. The Senate was powerless, Pompey was gone, and Caesar held supreme authority. Soon, he would claim the title of dictator for life. Yet within his triumph lay the seeds of his downfall. Senators who once feared his power would soon conspire to end his life on the Ides of March. But that is another story. If you enjoyed this journey into Rome's past, don't forget to subscribe for more epic history stories. What moment of Caesar's civil war do you think changed history the most? Let us know in the comments below.